By the way, good. Hey, we're live already. Good morning, traders. Sorry, this is going on YouTube too. Good morning, traders. Welcome to the daily webinar. This is the second part for the thing. Sorry, I was just talking to my traders in the room. They're in the trading room. And if you're watching this video, this is what we normally do. We come in the trading room, we discuss trades, and then we start the recording. So sorry if you got caught up in a piece of that conversation. Let's go. We have Victor in here, the guy who actually does all the uploading for you and helps you with all those problems, and the guy who made sure that all of our traders have no technical problem when they're in the room. So that is why we're saying hello to him, and you got caught up in that. Let's go. So great, let's start. I'm on the 1 hour, and let's go back. We're watching the Euro New Zealand for the trade. So we did this already. Let me go. See now, let's go. Yes, UK oil. We'll start. We have to finish today's webinar. Part of it, Forex, is already out. If you're watching this one, you accidentally see this video first, go on my YouTube channel and watch the Forex one because it's a full video. We normally do it in one, but because I was explaining quite a lot this morning, it happens to come in two pieces, two parts. So yes, let's start. This is the second part. My name is Anil Mangal. If you're watching for the first time and you've seen me, one guy actually told me that. He said, you don't introduce yourself when you start your video. You just go along with it, and everybody introduce themselves. I'm like, dude, go to my channel and you'll find my name there, right? And then, I mean, why waste time on that? Let's go. If you don't know me, you'll find my name in my channel and you'll see what I do. I've been doing it for so many years. I don't think it's bad to come and introduce yourself, but I don't see the necessity for it as well. But anyway, my name is Anil Mangal. Let's move on. Good. So we're on crude oil, and it did break. This was a good sell if you sold that. I hope you close it for profit. I hope you for some reason, worst cases, you got break even, but with that pullback, once it dropped, and in our case, once that dropped, we were supposed to close the trade, right? We had a running flat. We broke the low of that running flat. You've got to be careful. It doesn't mean it's going to go very much. So on the big picture, let's see where we are. So this is the daily chart, right? This is the daily chart. So there are many options of how you can look at this in terms of patterns, right? Let me just remove everything. I'm going to go through this in a little details. Good. So I'm going to give you one detail that you probably didn't know, and I will tell you about it because we did it. We did it when this move was coming down, and this move was around here, right? When we were in this piece and we were making this flat to come down. And if you go back on the yearly chart, you would see this up move here, right? You would see a similar cycle before where they had that up move, they had a fast drop, they had a move back up, and they actually dropped and broke the low. And then they start to go back up. Then this move started up. So if you go back and you find the yearly chart, I think I found it on macro trends on the internet. And what we did is we assumed at that point in time, we made the forecast for this to come and break this low, and then actually go back up and break the top, because we're assuming that we'll have similar patterns. And then it turned out it didn't do that, right? It did go up, but then it started to drop and make a new low, which changes the whole thing. So now you can look at this a number of ways after you have that. You can say, well, okay, maybe this here was a running flat, and this was a 1, 2, 3. And in that case, you see, this wasn't back in the minus. Actually, the real price was at 20 something. This was actually the sell-off of contracts that were rolling over, right? And because those contracts were there and you had to pick up, or if you didn't, then you have to sell it for negative. That the negative prices were old contracts, not the real price. I think there's a big difference between that. A lot of traders don't understand. It's since oil is always sold in future contracts, right? So my country is an oil country. Now I'm learning a little about oil. They sell all the oil in future contracts. So before the oil is out, it's already sold. But you have to pick it up. You have to pick it up, store it, and all of that, right? So let's say you buy an October, let's say you buy a February contract now. I'm just theoretically, it means that you will get your oil in February. And when February comes, you have to take the oil. If you don't take the oil, you have to sell it back before February. So this is what happens here. When people who don't have storage speculate on oil and have to sell it back, then someday do have to sell it back, which means that they will, if it's a real, not us, we do spot trading, which means we speculate. We don't really buy oil. I think a lot of small traders don't realize that. We don't buy the oil, we speculate on the price and oil. Real buyers, real hedge funds and all, they're really buying the oil. They're not just speculating on the price, they're buying the oil. So they will have to actually deliver, pick up, store, and all of that. So that is what created this, them selling back. Real price was 20 something. So we can look at it two many ways. We can look at this as a possible flat. And this one coming back to make a new low. Going back up there, making a bigger flat, coming back down here to make a new low, and then actually taking off. So we could end up for a number of years with oil going within this range. And that is okay. I think that would be normal. If the price comes down, go back up, comes down, go back up. That's what wave analysis is all about. Can we actually go make a new high? So if we assume that this is the first one, and that this was the low, and that we're totally going up, that means we're coming to break this up. What we want to see is what happens here. So before they go, they always make flats. So you go to the daily and then you said, okay, good, we went up. This was easy. I think all of us remember that. You made a flat, you broke out, you go, you made another flat here, you make a top. Now you're coming down back really sharp. So either we're making a bigger flat here and then we're gonna go, or we're gonna make a small flat here and we're gonna come back to retest the low. So for my friend, this who made the comment that he's saying that it can go up and it can go down, so he wouldn't be wrong. Again, let me address you once again. It's not that simple. This is complex. So listen carefully, just for you. If it is going to go up, you would have a flat here. If it is going to go down, you will have a flag here. Those are two different things. So when we see a single move, what we do is we wait for confirmation. We wait for the chart to tell us which of those two is going to happen. If it consolidates at the top, we're going to go up. If it consolidates, a smaller consolidation at the bottom here, we're going to go down. So this means if this starts to do this and come here, we're going to go up. If it does this, we're going to go up. If we only do this, then the chances are we're going to go down. And if we keep doing that, we're going to go down like this. See, you go up, you only do this. You go up, you pull back, you go up, you do this. You go up because we have this here. We will get one of that in the future. You do this and you go up. Well, this is a confirmed upside. It's a running flat. Running flats are confirmed continuation patterns, right? Regular flats are not necessarily that, because in the regular flat, the flat that is inside the regular flat could be the indication you're going the opposite direction until it stops and turns, right? So at this point, we're here and we can go to the 4-hour and we're kind of consolidating. Well, looks like that here was a regular flat for downside. I think we saw the running flat for downside. I think we saw that one. We actually traded that one perfectly. So now you're here and there was another running flat here actually, smaller version, and we're consolidating here. That is upside. That little piece there is upside, but that could be part of the consolidation I'm telling you about that might literally go down. So this is the last running flat we had. This was the sell setup on the flag. There was a smaller flag here also. Drop, pull back. So let's see what happens in here now. If we get a small version of confirm, we're going to go up. But remember, this up move is the first impulse on the daily, right? So it's not telling you anything exact. That means it's going to take off. It means they could literally stay here and still drop. That would be that sideways flat. If it goes higher back to the top, then great. If they go back to the top, we're literally going to be making a bigger move, a bigger consolidation for upside. So let's come here now. And on the 1 hour, we're saying, okay, what do we have here? Well, you're getting a flag in the middle of this, which is good. Kind of getting a flag here. That is good. You'll probably do this, come back here and go. I would be looking for a running flat like that for a buy setup, short-term buy setup. Remember, we don't have enough information for the long-term trade. If the short-term buy setups goes here and then start to come back down and they do this here and they do this here and you get this, perfectly, we're going down totally. So you can either start trading now or you can wait for something more to happen to give you that information and then start to trade. Right? That's it. That's what wave analysis is. It gives you an edge in the market to understand what pattern you're looking at. US oil, same thing. I can go back to it, but it's the same thing, same everything. See, that was a sell setup. You sold it. You should have got out of it and go for the buy now. Could this be the buy to go, which means we have a running flat here already? There's a possibility because of this slow move that you might want to consider whether this was a running flat already for upside. If you're going to be buying into this, you got to be careful, put a stop here because there's a good chance that this comes here, do this and go. I would probably wait for more confirmation before I take any trade here now. Natural gas, we dropped. We're going down more. Where are we heading for now? Let's go like this. That was a sell setup because of that running flat, which is a confirmed downside. And we still have a few pieces we don't have this sharp one here yet. So I still think we will get a pullback before they go. We're coming down. Where to? Can we drop back all the way to the low? It's possible. That is quite possible, depending on how you look at this structure, right? If you look at it like this is still within the correction, then yes, this could come back here and we could get something like this and then go back up. I would have to see what these pieces are. I don't have it right now, but we'll have to see what that is to tell you. Right now, I think it's upside still. I think this piece, we're coming down, sorry. This is coming down, but this will have to go back up and then come to finish this running flat. So at some point in time, you'll probably get a move back up and then downside. So if you're selling under 1 hour, you have to be very cautious. And if you're getting flags and selling, these were all sell setups. I think at this point on Friday, we weren't looking for a sell because this was a sharp move up. We're expecting if it's going to drop, well, it drop, no problem. Wait for another pullback and then sell. Wait for another flag, then sell. US 30, upside. This was the buy on Friday. This is another buy. You've got an expanding flat there. Go for this buy. It's going to probably just do this. And at this point, it could drop again or it could break out. Let me show you why. 4 hour, this is what we have. And this is why we were selling it. We were selling it to come back to this level. Now that you're here, is it going to make a new high? Or is it going to consolidate here and drop? That's the question, right? So buy, you have a buy setup, buy back to the top, and then there's a good chance it could break out. Right, this is a perfect buy setup in the 1 hour. Because you've got a flat there. And this is making a flag, which means upside. I would watch the trend there, the down move. So let's see how high it goes. They could probably break out and make a new high. S&P 500, it's going down. You can see all those sell setups. They weren't perfect, and I shouldn't say they weren't perfect. They were perfect, but they were difficult to sell because you'll have to put an entry order and hope that it goes, right? Because there weren't flags in there. We like to see the flags, that's confirmation. But if you put your entry order every time you saw that, you made money, right? Now, what is the big picture of this? Well, we could go up once more, right? Just notice every time they came down, they went back, came down, went back, came down, went back. We're looking at this whole piece and we're saying, well, this pullback looks very corrective. I think all of us can agree that this looks very corrective. So one more up move is, and then a few more like this, and then probably pull back again. All right, so let's see. Do we have a buy setup on it? Not as yet. We could have a buy setup very soon, but it's not there as yet. So if you get a buy setup in here, that would be perfect. If this here starts to make a flag, it's already consolidating. That'd be a perfect buy setup. Okay, you're also getting a buy setup here. Similar move, similar structure. Or in a down move, if you buy this here, you'd have to be very cautious because this could just be a correction and drop again, right? So if you buy here and it starts to do this, get out of it because we're going to drop again. If it goes like this, good for you. You're going to go out of the structure. It's correcting downwards. Similar structure, right? Can this go down some more? Absolutely. You can see that it can fall some more, right? This can drop some more and then go. Can it go up from here? Sure. If you get a buy setup, take it. If it looks like a sell, decide if you want that trade. It's short-lived. PayPal. Okay, it didn't break out. It's more downside. We're expecting it to start turn, and it looks like it's going to turn because we're doing this. When you do this, you're thinking two things. Two type of patterns that look like that. Running flats and reversal channels. There's a difference between those two patterns, but it's hard to tell which one it is when you're in a structure like this, right? Because both of them would look similar. I'm inclined to believe we're in a reversal channel, and that is because of the bigger structure that I'm looking at. This is the bigger structure. And we had one move, we had one move down. Remember when this was going up? Go back and watch the video when all of this was happening. We were like, it doesn't matter if it come and break the thumb. We have to come back and close to this low. If it was a running flat, it would go from here. If it is an expanding flat, it goes from here. So one more up move is likely in this because we broke the top and the big consolidation seems like this could go up. I would start to look for buy setups. Now that we're at the bottom here, buy setups would make sense, right? Amazon. And there you go. The sell setup was perfect. That was a running flat. If you put your sell here, this was the sell we had in our room and it's coming down. I'd be careful here now because there's a possibility that this is a running flat. We could go back one more, right? I would wait for a flag before I sell, which means if it's not a running flat, give us a flag and then we're going to go down. So this whole thing is starting to get much more complicated than I thought it was. We were looking at a simple flat here, but it looks like all of this will be more than one series of flats for very, very complicated move. And that means if we get another flat here and we kind of do this and come back here, that would be make another flat here, which means you're going to get something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, come back here and then go. See? So like I said, when this didn't take off is that we will have to wait for this to finish to tell us what the pattern is. We still don't know. Why? Because it's making a very, very complex pattern. And until all the pieces or most of the pieces are thing, you wouldn't know what the entire pattern is. That might take a year, 2 years, or 3 years, but you can still trade it, which means you trade the smaller patterns. We traded this one down. We traded this one up, right? We traded this one down. We traded that down. So now we're going to watch here. If this, I think this could be a flat. This could go back up one more and then come back here. So if we get a buy setup here, we'll go with that trade and then we'll look for a sell setup here to come back to this level. So let's wait and see. We don't have anything else to do there. Next. Okay, so if you sold, you close it and you know why? Because we looked at this and we looked at this and it was going to make inside of this, it was going to make one more down, either drop very low, make a running flat, or just drop a little, go back up, you close the trade. Right? We were prepared for that. And this is what you have. You have a flat in here now. So you've got a buy setup. Right? You have this is a 4 hour, the 1 hour you had enough time to close it. Right? So now we have this. We have this flat. Take this out. I think you can see the pattern clearly. And we're going up. So we're going to break this top. If you get a pullback and a flag there, go for the buy. We're going to, especially if you get a flag here. Go for this buy to break that up, and then we will get this flat, after which it should drop. So this would be a perfect sell setup if that happens. It could be a little more complex than that. I will not go into that detail here as yet. We'll just deal with this piece for now. Okay, good. This one is just going sideways, and that's good, which means the more they go sideways, the more you come back here, you go back there, you come back here, you go back there, and then you drop. So there's a series of up and down here before this drops. It's going sideways, and that means it's very likely going to drop. And that should be a very nice move to the downside. Okay. Let's see. Go back to the 1 hour and Nifty. Okay, you're already breaking through. So if you guys are in the trade in any entry or wait for a flat, wait for a flag, not flat, wait for a flag. That's a flat. You could be making a running flat here. Be careful. Watch this possibility for a running flat here. One more up and then downside, right? Watch that. If you don't get a flag, you don't sell it. Reliance, not sure if anybody trades this. More downside, you get a flag here, wait for it to break this low. Trade it to break the low, sorry. So this makes a 1 hour flag here. Go for this trade. Tesla. Okay, that was a sell setup on Friday. That turns out to work perfect, like magic. We're in a bigger consolidation on Tesla. We still don't have this. Remember that, right? So if this comes back here, I don't think we're making this now. I think we're just making something similar to this piece here. We're making something like this, which means this comes down here, go back there, come back here, and then go one more up. After which we get this. And then that. So we're going to be up and down here a while. I'll be careful of the sells now because it can go back up, look for buy setups. And this. Okay, you might be getting a sell setup here. It's not going anywhere really, but there's a sell setup there. Go for the trade, see how far it goes. It should come back at least to this low. Probably come back to this low. And then we'll see what happens from there, right? You're going sideways. You had a 1, 2, 3 down. You had a 1, 2, 3 up. You're making a 1, 2, 3 down. Perfect. Right, then we'll see what happens from that point. Bitcoin, yes, does work, right? The magic does work. Wave analysis. So here is the good part. I hope the guy who was commenting when I said on my YouTube channel, when I said, watch it when you break the stop, it's going to come back up. And somebody went on my YouTube channel and they literally used very bad words and said, I have no idea. I'm not going to use the names they called me and said he has no idea what he's doing. Don't follow him. When you break tops, you're taking off like a rocket. Good for you. I hope you were listening to me and you actually take cautions and, you know, sell or at least put a stop. Because if you didn't, sorry for you, my friend. By the way, join my group if you want to understand why when they break the top, they come back down. Join my group. It's going to cost you less and you'll have lifetime access than it's costing you right now from 69,000 to where to 42,000. I guarantee you it's going to cost you less to be in the group and you would have lifetime access. So what we look for when we do this, we watch for this and we're looking at this and we're thinking if they go back up from there, good. But if they drop through and they drop through, perfect. Now, can we look at that as the running flat? Remember what I said, as long as you have these sharp waves, beware of them. They always come back. These sharp waves are magical. So this is the sharp wave we were talking about down. And everything up was consolidation, even if they break the top. So this is a running flat. Here is the good news. It will go back up. If this is a running flat, all running flats tends to go back up. That is why we have an arrow. When it comes here, it can go back up, or when it breaks the low, it can come back up. Now, this is a little longer than that one. But do they have to be equal in a running flat? And the answer is no. So can we look at this as a running flat? 1, 2, I'll bring this down here, 3. Can that be a running flat? And could this be the next up move from here? I'll take all of this out now. They're useless. They already finished. And this is going up. Can that happen now? Perfect, it can. Now, here's the question. Not because it can go up now, it means it is going up now. It means we have to let this finish what it's doing. This could come here and come here and come here and then go back up as an expanding flat. We have to let this finish what it's doing, turn, give us a setup, and then buy. See the magic? That's the magic. Let's go. 4 hours. You did drop and you did make a big pullback and you have a perfect flag. You can't ask for a better flag than this. And that's a 4-hour flag. Go into 1 hour and that's your buy setup. Now, how far would this buy go? Again, if they stay at the top here, this would be a perfect buy setup. And this one could go make a new high if that is all. If this doesn't go, and I really mean if it doesn't go, which is, I mean, if instead of breaking out, they just literally do this and come back here, you're just going to do this and you're going to drop again. Listen to this carefully. If this comes down lower, it will be a flat, not a flag. They'll go back up here and then they're going to drop again. But if they stay at the top there and they break out, the buy is a good idea. You still have to be very careful with the buy because it's a very small flag. They can as well do this and come back down here like this and then do this and still drop. In that case, this would be a break-even trade. The idea is if they do this, good for you. Like this one. See this flag here? That was the sell setup. Perfect. Right? That's the magic of wave analysis. And that's what we do day in, day out. So let's go. Next one. XRP. Downside. There was a sell from this level. There was a sell from this level. There are 2 sells there. You had this sell, you close it, you get this sell, and then bingo. That's your trade. Where are we now? Did I say it's going to come down back? Absolutely. See? And now that it's down here, we're definitely going back up. This one is absolutely going back up because this becomes the flat. If you understand wave analysis, this becomes the flat for this wave up. So we're looking for something that goes like this up, and then we're going to come back down because we still don't have this. So look for your buy setup here and go for the trade. Can it come lower? Yes, it can. We're not expecting it to, but it can come lower. And it can become a bigger expanding or running flat in the future, right? So let's see. This should be a very good buy setup if you get this trade to go. Especially if they consolidate here more, that would be a perfect buy setup. Let's go. You don't want it to come lower. If it comes lower, you're looking for a flat and that changes the dynamics. Let's go. ADA. broke the top, make a flat, drop. This was your 1, 2, 3. This was a good trade, and then you start to look for your sell setups all the way down. Again, we're looking at a 1, 2, possible 3, and a drop again. Let's see if that is in play. Let's go to the 4-hour. Yes, I think there could be, no, you don't need more downside basically. As a matter of fact, you need an upside right now, right? So that is why we were taking that buy. If you get a flag here, take it, because there's a chance you could get something like this and then one more down. I'm looking at this possibility, right? So there's a very good chance for that. Let's see. I'd go up and then come back. ETH. Well, this dropped already. The sell was at the bottom here. We were looking at this flat. I already changed the chart. So we had 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Finished. We're going up back now. So we're good. This is a good flag for a buy. You're getting a flag here. You're getting some consolidation here. It might be a little bigger than that. And then you can go for that trade. And where would that take us? Let's go back now to this is Ethereum. Take all of this out. If that flat goes up, we're pretty much going to be looking at it like this one, a bigger one than that. Go back, break the top, and we're still going to come back down because we still have to get this and then go up. So if this goes up here, it's only one trade to break the top, one impulse, and then be careful. So it's going to be a buy setup. Can it actually drop lower and then go? It can. I don't expect it to, but if they can do that, we'll see it. That means this one will have to come back all the way to the bottom, go back up there, and then we'll get the sell setup. Right now, it's a buy setup to the upside. So go back to this again, because I think this confused novice traders who are not very complicated and don't want to go into deep analysis. This is a big pattern. I mean, let me just explain, because I think I see where some traders are confused. You're always going to have this in the future. Whether it was going to be this one, whether it was going to be this one, whether it is going to come here and then give you this, you will have it. I just showed you it happened in Bitcoin, and I showed you it happened in a few other charts, and oil and gold and time, everything. Sorry, oil and gold, and also in a whole series of other ones. Now, what you're doing here is you're making a correction upwards with a number of flats in it. So I think this is a flat for upside, which means this will break the top one more. That is a possibility. Can it come down? Sure, it can come down. If it is going to come down, if it is going to go up, I will see different things in the chart. So I go on the 1 hour and I said, okay, if I'm going up, I need a flat. I need a small correction like this, which we call flats. And I'll put the buy entry here for this trade. If this drops lower, I'm not trying to sell this piece here coming down. I'm not trying to sell that. But if it comes lower to this level, I can still get my buy, but the buy will only come to this level here. This would be the buy. But now I'm looking for a sell, because this is no longer a flag. It's a flat, and it's a flat for downside. That's the difference. So either I see this and I buy, or I see this and I sell. I could buy and sell as well within this range. If the range is a big range, I would buy and sell. But those are short-term trades. I'm telling you about direction, right? So if I think there is a possibility for upside or there's a possibility for downside, I need to see that confirmation. The confirmation is what makes you understand how the chart is going to behave. Go now. Let's go. I hope you get that, right? It's not that difficult. It wasn't difficult. That is why we know this one was going to do exactly what it did. We knew this big flat was going to break, and we knew this flat was going to come down. I still think they could come a little more. They haven't broken the low. Now, it doesn't mean it can't go up from there, but I think they will drop one more. So let's see if we get another flat here and then we drop. After which, if they go up, this is a pretty big move down. I still don't think that's all. We'll probably get more to that. Let's see. Can they go back up from here? If they go back up from here, I'll go with this pattern. If we see an up move back from here, we'll go with this pattern, and then we'll come back down still. So both of those are possible. The way the structure is, both of those are possible. So let's go back to the 1 hour and see, do we have a buy or a sell setup? Actually, you don't have either right now because it's in the middle of nowhere. And if it comes lower, it will be a sell setup for downside. If they go from here, I would rather wait for a flag out here before I buy. And I'll wait for it because this is deep enough. This is in the middle of, it's not so much a flag, it's bigger than a flag. So I'll wait for a flat at the top here and then buy, or wait for another confirmation to buy a smaller flag. Dash. Short-term downside. This piece looks downside. We're still in this correction. So if they come lower here, they go back up there, we're looking for a sell setup. Let's see what the big picture tells us. Go back to the daily. Yeah, we were looking for sells, by the way. We're looking for sells on this one. Same thing I'm saying here. If you get one of that, it's a sell. What if they go back up to the top? I think that's possible. We look at this as a 1, 2, 3, and then come down. I think that is really, really possible going back to the top. Looking at the chart now, that looks like a really good possibility. So let's go back into 1RC. Do we have a buy setup? Well, not as yet, but we could get a buy setup. We don't have. If all the consolidations happen in this area, which means if this go back up here and come back here and then go, we will go for the buy. Can we buy the breakout of this? Well, if you have the skill levels, you can do that because you'll have to manage that trade really tight. This one is coming down as a correction also. So it will be a buy, but you'll have to decide how deep it comes, whether it's a buy for a flat or it's buy for a flag. It's not a flag, it's almost out of a flag range. And we are expecting this to go back up too, depending on how you look at the pattern. If they break this low, that it's upside. If they don't break the low, it could still be upside. So we're looking at this low. We actually tagged that low. So upside is right in the play. It's, you know, you've got the sharp move, you've got the up move, and you've got this 1, 2, 3 here. This could be the whole big correction. This could be the final move down, and then you go right back up. This would be your flat. See? So if this drops one more, that is total upside. You're definitely looking for the upside. Can this be the start of the upside? It could. I think we would like to see more downside, which means what I would like to see is them coming down lower here, going back up, and then drop one more, then go up. But if they go up from here, you can start buying, right? If they're breaking out and give you buy setups, you can take the trade. Manage the trade. If it doesn't go very far, you get a break even. So this one, same thing. They all have the same setups. It's just a waste of time going through every one of them. This one more showing you downside, so you have to be careful. This one is showing more downside. Although we thought this one was going to make a running flat, there could still be an expanding flat. Could this be? I don't know if that wick is correct. If that wick is correct, this might be a flat of its own here. If that wick is there, if the wick does exist. So I don't know. I'm not going to waste my time checking it. You guys will have to do that on your own. And if that is the case, we are coming down slow. So because if that's the flat in the middle, we are breaking out of this one. And breaking out of that will bring you back to the low and then up. Let's see. I'm looking at this. This is what I'm looking at. See this here? See that correction there? Right? They kind of make a sharp move, make a big correction, make another move. Then you make 1, 2, 3. Then you make 1, you make 2. And if this is the flat in the middle, if that isn't the flat, they might come back here and then drop. But if that is a flat, they could just come down to the bottom to about this level. I'm not expecting them to break very much. Just come tag this, and then that's a buy setup. You definitely don't want to miss, right? You don't want to miss that if that is a buy. So let's see. Can we go down some more? I think so. This one definitely looks more downside than upside because of the depth of the pullback already. This pullback is already at the bottom here. So if when this goes back up, I'll be looking for a flat for downside. This one might be the clue to what is happening to all of them, which means all of them might end up with a flat like this. This one is only leading the way. I will see. This looks like a flag right now for upside, this one here, but it could drop more, and if it comes here, it will be a flat. So right now it's a flag, it's a buy setup. Keep your eyes on it. If it goes lower, start take off the buy. I think we were expecting this to go back some more too. Yep, at least one more up and then drop because we're still in the consolidation, and it could go back. I wouldn't be surprised if this actually goes back up from here, right? Make a new high and then come down. That's the thought process. I don't think it's complete because I don't see the bigger flat. This looks like a sharp move down. It doesn't look like it belongs to anything else. This flat belongs to itself here, right? So, and this belongs to itself here. So I would go with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up there, or 1, 2, 3 here. Even if they go a little lower, they're going to go back here. You'll get this flat. And then we get this move down. Right? Then we get that move down. So upside is around the corner. Just keep your eyes on it. It means anytime now you can start to get an upside. If this breaks out, might be a good buy. Right, depending on how low it comes. If it stays there and break out, that's a good buy setup. Okay, guys, that was the second part of the webinar. If you like what you see and you think it makes sense to you and you would like to learn it, join us anytime you want. Send me a Skype message. If you like it and you don't want to join us, but you want others to hear about this, share it with everybody you know and let them watch it, learn something. Thank you very much. Bye.